Sorry, what was the question?
Can you assess your performance today, and how happy are you with your victory?
I thought I put on a poor performance, and I didn't fight a smart fight, and no, I'm not happy with my performance at all, and I wasn't 100% today. I felt good, but just leading up to this fight, I went through a lot of it's just hard times, and I just really had to push through this one, and I got good people that I train with that are behind me, and that's the reason why I stuck through, and I don't give up, and that's why I'm still here.
Question for Dana Michael Chavello from HDNet. I know you're a big boxing fan, and you wrote in your editorial in the program that you were hoping that this fight tonight, BJ and Nick, would be a throwback to the heady days of welterweight boxing, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Hitman Hearns, etc. Do you feel it lived up to that this is a throwback in MMA terms, seeing it was mostly a boxing contest anyway, to those glory days of boxing in the 80s?
No, I love this fight. I thought this fight was great, and Nick might be upset with his performance and thinks he didn't fight a smart fight. Only they would know what the game plan was, but what they did fight tonight like was two warriors, man. Those two guys went in there toe-to-toe, in the pocket, no backing up, no running around, both of them, BJ and Nick. It was, me, I was on Twitter, and people were going crazy on Twitter, and, like I said, you have to respect both these guys, and it was exactly the fight that I thought it would be. It was awesome.
And Nick, a question for you. In the first round, I thought BJ had the first round. You really turned it on in the second. You seem to find your range with that jab. You pull beautifully with it and sets up the right hand nicely that, busted up BJ's eye and sent him to the hospital here tonight. Do you think there was a real turning point where you started to take control in the fight? And was it somewhere maybe in that second round that you really started to find your range?
No, I think that I just kind of went for it a little more in the second round, but my timing was really off. I didn't get the right type of sparring that I was needing, and I didn't spend enough time working with my trainer the way that I should have, and I was back and forth about a lot of things this whole time I had to train for this fight. So I make it to the gym. And, I was there, I put in the hours, and I did everything I was supposed to do. And it was just the mandatory workouts and things that I have to do to make it through it's just a mandatory amount of things that I do. That's what got me through it. But I wasn't working out 100%. I wasn't feeling 100%. I was just doing everything. I wasn't leaving anything out. I just did everything that I normally do and I was supposed to do, but I didn't do it with, I don't know how you say, I didn't go in there and feel good about it, and I didn't really get into my gains, like my strength gains. I just, just kept pushing through every day. And usually I build, and this time I just pretty much, pushed through every little bit of mandatory training that I had, but I missed out on a lot of good. Not that I missed out, I just had a hard time. I was real upset. I got fighting with, just fighting with everybody about getting the right sparring. But this is the thing, I just there's people that I ain't get, they're not taking care of me because they're not compensated. You know what I mean? My team needs to be compensated, and the people around me, they're not getting anything out of it. They're not getting no airtime. They're not getting, they're not getting paid like they should. My sparring partners, they're not getting paid like they should. And that's right. That's why nobody wants any part of this. They don't want to help me train. They're not getting nothing out of it, and I don't blame them. And nobody. It's hard to find sparring nowadays. These days, nobody's ready, or they gotta be in the best condition or whatever before they want to come in and work out with me now, because everybody's intimidated, or the trainer tells them, no, you can't, that ain't good for you, go in there and spar with that guy. So, these people ain't going to do this stuff. I ain't going to get the training I need unless these people start, unless these people are compensated for what their efforts and what they're doing to, help me.
And Nick, just one final question, if you don't mind. You were saying all week how BJ Penn was your idol, and you actually bought your first ever MMA fight was a video of BJ Penn's. When you were busting him up, as Dana said, in the third round, and busting him up like no one has ever busted him up before, did you at any moment feel any pity, any remorse for beating up on your idol like that, like no one else has beat up on?
You know what? I didn't mean it like that. BJ Penn was my idol. I never said that. People were putting words in my mouth. BJ Penn is somebody I like his style. It's my favorite type of fighter because he was bringing the same type of style. Because I said, he was coming from a Ralph Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, and I think maybe he should represent that where he came from, and that's all I had had against him. That's the that's where I felt like I was in the right, and maybe he was in the wrong. I had to find something to fight him about, and I think that I don't know, maybe that's what I was going with. But yeah, there's a lot of people I look up to in the sport. I mean, maybe that you can call my idol before BJ Penn. He's one of my favorite people in the sport, I guess you could say. But it was just I trained with him before. I know him and his brothers and JD and all those guys, and I don't like I don't like walking past them and having give them dirty looks. I don't like walking past them and having nobody want to say hi to me and shake hands, but like we don't know each other, or that's just not the way it should be. I don't want to fight people I already know. I don't think that's what fighting's all about, and so I didn't want this fight, and so it wasn't motivating for me. On top of the fact that I wasn't motivating for a lot of people because I wasn't motivated the way that I should have been, and on top of that, I had a lot of arguments and fights with my whole camp about getting the type of training and sparring that I needed to in the first place, and I was doing a lot of training on my own, and that's why we had so much miscommunications, and I had a lot of issues with making the right type of press happen and showing up to that last press conference that I should have been at. But that's what I'm saying. If everybody else is compensated, I can't blame them. It's not their fault. They work hard, and it's time that they're compensated for what they do, and we wouldn't have an issue or any sort of miscommunication if they were coming up.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Dana.
Dana, in Houston, you talked about having a conversation with Frankie Edgar about the importance of fighting at your more natural weight class, and you talked about how it was an issue of career longevity. Do you see that as an issue with BJ Penn? And if this is not his last fight, is that the type of conversation you'd like to have with him?
I think BJ Penn's been remarkable. He's been a freak of nature, a guy who can move around to different weight classes. I think that when you have a guy like Frankie Edgar, who absolutely positively weighs 145 pounds, and he's in there having wars with 55-pounders, I mean, that's really more. BJ Penn, the thing with BJ is BJ's in his 30s now. BJ's not as young as he used to be either. And BJ's biggest problem has always been conditioning, not fighting. He can handle himself with anybody.
Dana, you mentioned that you had an announcement to make once Nick got up here?
Yeah, I'm going to let you guys ask Nick all the questions you want to ask him, and then I'll do it. You guys don't ask Nick questions?
I got one for Nick, I guess.
Okay.
Nick, you, right after the vote, you called out George St. Pierre. You were pretty fired up in calling out George. You mentioned that, potentially, you may have been scared or you're faking the injury. Can you expand on that?
I was supposed to fight George St. Pierre, not BJ Penn, and that's when my face was banged up right now because it's discouraging to have your fight canceled and then, back and forth about just everything. I do what I'm told, but it was hard to find a motivation that I needed to come to 100% and to want to do this. It's hard. That's just I don't mean to sit here and make excuses all day, but that was the fight that I was looking for. like, you know, I said it before, I thought maybe, I didn't mean to, you know, give myself all kinds of credit or act like I'm something, or, you know, because apparently I'm not too important, but I think that if I were in his position, I would have wanted to, you know, fight the Strikeforce champion. You know, they made a whole big deal out of that, unifying the titles, and you know, and it was after a while I realized, man, I'm fooling myself thinking I'm somebody here. So, you know, because apparently he didn't think that it was important to fight against me, rather fight. You know, he'd rather have a different, you know, he'd rather fight Carlos Conduit, or, you know, I would have said, hey, I'm gonna fight. I always want to go for the best fights. That's why I'm always calling out George St. Pierre. I don't have anything against George St. Pierre. I think he's a great fighter. I think he's a nice guy, just like everybody else. You know, and he's a great role model. I would love to be that too if I was in that position. I just unfortunately haven't ever had the opportunity and the right people behind me to push me to be that type of, you know, that type of fighter or that type of role model, or what you, you know, what you'd like to see.